I started going on Sundays. And then I even bought a Bible, bro. Don't ask me like this. Don't ask me because these people reached out to me. These people reached out to me via email, and I skipped like the first round. Went to first round interview like in person. Actually, they were hosting those interviews here in one of our campuses. Passed that shit, and 2 weeks ago, yeah, 2 Fridays ago, I had my last round, and I just got that shit, bro. It's crazy. And it's like I'm gonna be making like over six figures, bro, as an English major.
bro. It, people don't people graduating college is the easy part, bro. That's
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
easy
yeah,
part,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
bro. And I never understood that, and until I graduated, bro.
Hmm.
It's insane.
It was never about college. It's all about the job. Like I realized that like my sophomore year, and that's when I started like doing like internships, hella internships, because what I realized, okay, me back in high school, you probably knew me like I was like a book nerd. Like I
Yeah.
love like reading, writing all that shit, and that's what helped me get my scholarship in the first place.
Hmm.
Like I had good grades, and to this day, like I'm here, like I'm not paying for anything. Like I just ate a meal, I didn't pay for that. So I'm grateful for that. But then what I realized too, I was talking to some people, is like what gets you some opportunities is not necessarily what's gonna keep you getting more opportunities. So like you have to like keep expanding yourself. So what I realized, like I have to develop my people skills, and like I have to start doing extracurriculars to like build a resume and like look impressive. Start doing that to the point where like last summer I was working for the company that owns Marlboro. It's like I had an internship there. It was like low key a good experience. Like I'm not gonna say like they're the best people to work for, especially like knowing what they do, like they sell cigarettes and tobacco products. But it was a dope experience, like not everyone can tell you like, oh, like I interned there. Um and that experience now allowed me to get this one job. It's ultimately what you realize was like all your work experiences, like you're just collecting like stories so that you can talk about them during your interviews. And like you enhance them a little bit to like make yourself sound cool. And then yeah, but that's what it is. Like
Yeah.
that's all job hunting really is. And it's crazy, like the way the job market is right now, like you can't rely on just like solely applying. Me, because I had a good resume, I was able to apply and get interviews, but those interviews I didn't get anything. What I got was like this recruiter reaching out to me. So like we're in a really tough market where really it's just all about leveraging your network. In my case too, having like graduating from this college specifically because it's very like prestigious around here in Southern California. uh it gives me leverage. So I also say that is like I've just been really lucky like as an immigrant and everything, because yes, I've worked hard, but also like I've had the opportunities come and I've been able to see the opportunities. I've been ready for the opportunities. And I've just been blessed, man. Like I can't like complain. Like couple months, yeah, like the last few months I was like super anxious and like stressed, like not knowing what the fuck was gonna happen. And like now I have this job and everything's like taken care of. That's the thing, like all the time, bro, like all the time. Like God's taking care of you. You might not see it because like you're short-sighted.
Hmm.
But then he's doing things in the background. Like what I realized, like life is kind of like it's kind of like a movie or like a novel. Like it's already scripted, like, and you don't fully know, but like there's like something writing, and then you realize when things happen, you're like, oh damn, like that worked out way too perfectly. Like
Yeah.
everything lined up too nicely for me to get that. I was like, yeah, because like like one, you were aligned with yourself, but two, like it's part of the script.
Hmm.
So yeah, life's funny, man. Life's funny.
Yeah, it's like we're right here in the timeline. We're in the timeline of presence, but then
Uh-huh.
we're scared of like the future, right? Because we don't know what's gonna happen. But if
Yeah.
we stop and reflect and we're like, okay, these last 5 years, this had to happen, to this happened, and then I'm here. So you could think you could have the same perspective, be like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep positive. I'm gonna work hard, and God give me the wisdom to see the opportunities. And
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, see how people be praying for. Okay, definitely, I was like praying for like getting a job, right? But
mm,
ultimately, what you want to pray for is wisdom. Like, that's the only thing you really need to pray for. Because if you have
100%.
wisdom, then you can unlock everything else.
100%.
Yeah. So it's crazy, man. Um, like the way I've grown over like this last 4 years, bro. Like it's crazy. Like I said, like when we met back in high school, like I was like smart, like book smart, and had a lot of like crazy ideas, and just was like super passionate about like art. But then like college like allowed me to like blossom and like realize like to like develop the other parts of me that
Mm,
I haven't like nourished as much. So like that's important, like because ultimately like you can't just like I mean if you specialize and you just go crazy about one thing, it's gonna take you far, but you're gonna you're gonna pay a high cost if you don't develop yourself in other aspects. So yeah.
no, that is completely true, bro. Like, I think college was also like an eye opener for me too. I didn't get the same revelation as you. Was like, oh, create internship, create this. I started. I came as a computer science degree,
Uh-huh.
and I just wanted to please the world. And then I was like, okay, what's the easiest like degree?
Hmm.
Like I was getting a real degree,
Hmm.
like a crazy one. And then I heard my voice like, oh, look at this easy class. So I was like, you know what? Let me go with that major. And I switched it just because I cared about what other people think. And then I was a slave to them. And I
Uh-huh.
just wanted to do the easy route. I wanted to fit in, you know? But at the end of the day, you can't please everybody, bro. And
Yeah.
like, I didn't know what I did. And then my last semester, I was like, damn, what did I do?
Hmm.
Like, I realized too late.
Hmm.
And I was just focused on soccer and soccer and soccer. Like how you said, I neglected everything else.
Yeah.
And I realized it too late, which it's all perfect timing because my opportunities are coming insanely good right now. But it's just about taking it step by step.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, for instance, I'll give you a similar example too, because it just really all depends. Like, I came in as an English major and I stayed as an English major because one, because like I'm a rebel. Like, I was like, see how every other motherfucker is like majoring in CS and econ. Um, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna do that because like why? I'm smart. Like I can study whatever I want and I'm still gonna come out with a good job. And that was my bro, that was my whole whim. Like I was so whimsical, like, bro, like I can study what I want and then get the experiences because ultimately it's not about the major, it's all about your experiences. So I can major in whatever I want and then I can start working, like joining clubs, doing internships, and then that's gonna help me develop myself. And and so that's what I did. And so now, like, I'm probably gonna be like the highest paid English major in this fucking school. Like, but all to say, like, is that I knew that the major didn't really matter. What really mattered was the experience and like focuses on getting the experience. And on the one hand, it was good because like doing the English major allowed me to enjoy what I was studying. Like I, like I wasn't forcing myself to like study something that I didn't want just for the sake of job marketability. But
Hmm.
instead, what I did, like I invested that energy in, like internships and experiences, right? Um, and so yeah, like I feel like a lot of people end up trying to fit that mold
Hmm.
uh because they're like, oh, like what's popping right now? Oh, like data science, like, oh, like tech and AI and all of this. And then they want to like make themselves fit that. But problem is, if you make yourself fit into that mold, then you cannot stand out. If you don't stand out, then you don't get the job. In my case, I was able to, craft like this narrative about me as a writer, visual artist, and as someone who like tells stories about products and services and how I was able to use my internship like my analytical problem solving skills, etc., to like solve problems. And like I created that. So that's how I sell myself to employers. And at the end of the day, like I found someone like an employer that like actually values that specifically. Like they don't care about my major, they solely care about my critical thinking and problem solving skills and the impact I've made in my previous experiences. So like, so yes, like you can major in secure majors like CS, data science. Well, even data science like might not with AI right now, like might not even be that profitable. Like, but again, it's like not even about the major, it's about the skills that you're developing and learning to sell those skills
Hmm.
and showcase them through experiences. That's what it's really all about. But I'm also in a position where like I was very lucky to make that happen. So I can speak for everyone too. But yeah, it's all about learning to sell yourself, bro. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna bring it back to high school, and because I remember we had a Spanish class.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we was reading Don Quixote.
Yeah, donkey. And that's when, like, honestly, looking back, reflection, I was just an NPC, bro. I was just going with the wind, and I don't know why. Like, I would just accept whatever happened, and the how life would come at me. I would just accept it, try to please everybody. And I remember I would look at you. You would talk about dogma and philosophers. And I'd be like, bro, this guy's dumb, bro. Like, I would look at him like he was so dumb. Like, bro, why you think it's so deep? And looking back now, I was like, damn, I should have listened to this fool. And then, but it's crazy how like we all have opportunities to like start thinking because we don't really think. And I just want to ask you is like, what sparked that curiosity to search beyond, like search inside, not
Uh,
outside? Like what made you?
I don't know, bro. Like, I think like since I was a kid, actually I have a funny story because I was telling you like want to talk about like faith. I grew up evangelical, and I used to go to church with my grandma when I was little. Bro, there was times, bro, that I just didn't really want to go, bro. I acted like I was asleep, and then I was just like, let her go. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then, but there were times, where like I asked the pastor a question, and the question was, how would you be sure of God's existence if you didn't have the Bible? I asked that when I was like 5 or 6, bro.
Hmm.
And then the pastor just told me like, oh, like you look at the sky and you see the creation, you look at the trees, you see the creation, and that's what tells me God exists. In my mind too, like now I get it at a deeper level,
Hmm.
but even then that like response like wasn't satisfactory because I was like, okay, so like the God like put his signature in everything he created, and like how am I supposed to read like the signature to see like he created it, like. So I think like I've always been like super critical, like even as a kid, like I'm telling you, and I've always wanted to like know like, okay, like I want to know this thing more deeply, like why should I believe you? Why should I believe this in the first place? And that gets you in trouble sometimes. Yeah, because like for instance, like in my internship last semester, like I mean last summer, like they gave me this project and I told them not directly, but I kind of told them like, hey, like this thing is kind of dumb. Like you guys are asking me to do this thing and this thing here, and when people see these two products side by side, like they're gonna realize that you guys are ripping them off, and it's probably not gonna be good for you guys. And then they were like shocked. And but like they actually kind of appreciated it. But like, like I would just say crazy shit like that. So yeah, like I would just say crazy shit. Like I wouldn't care because like I went in, bro, like knowing my value. Like I didn't even care if I got the internship or not. I mean, if I got that full-time offer or not, like I was just like, I'm just gonna shine, like do my thing. I'm just gonna shine. But yeah, going back to like the curiosity, like I don't know, like it's just sometimes I just feel like it's just you as an individual, how you're born. I definitely like how like my traumas like as a child and that even like deepen like my sense of being with myself and like looking deep too. So I can't really like tell you like I've always had this sensation that like people go that way. I always choose like this way. Like, and it might be a sense of like rebellion, it might be a sense uh of like there's other possibilities and I want to explore as much as possible. And if at the end of the day you guys are right, okay, okay, I'll accept it. But like it's always like there are more possibilities. Like why are we only stuck with one thing? And that just led me to like a lot of explorations and like I would say like after like moving to the US and started reading some things, I kind of like became atheist. Then I was like agnostic. Now I'd say I'm spiritual. So I still believe in God, but not God in the ways that I was raised in, believing in God. And I'm definitely a lot more receptive to like Eastern philosophies and religions. Because these people have figured shit out, bro, before, way before like Western societies. Like these people have been knowing things, bro, like for such a long time. And it's like, why should I just like confine myself to one worldview if there's like so many perspectives out there and things that have also worked? Like, why am I gonna close myself? Like, that's basically denying myself a privilege, like.
Hmm.
So I think that, it's just like I can't explain where it comes from, but that's just how I work. Yeah.
Well, that's crazy that you developed the curiosity when you were younger to
Yeah.
ask questions, because like how I was texting you was like when you ask yourself a question, it echoes loud into your soul, into your mind, tries to figure out a solution.
Mhm.
And and sometimes the question, you forget about it. But when you
Mhm.
close your eyes at night, you don't got things in your face, you got distractions, nothing, it will attack you and you will not go to sleep until you solve this
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. And it's crazy too, like dreams are like I remember how we had like that algebra class.
Yeah.
Uh well, it's funny, like sometimes I wouldn't resolve the problems when I was awake, but I would solve them when I was asleep. Like when I would dream, like I would go with the problem to sleep and then I would solve it in my dream and then I would wake up and I would like solve it. Which is funny because like I'm like actually bro, if I wanted to have taken like a STEM route, like I could have definitely done it. But like I just think like I just fell in love with like art and literature and stuff. But I was like but looking back, I'm like, bro, like I was like low key, like super smart for like in STEM areas. So like I could have gone there. But yeah, the thing that you're saying with like how your mind is not gonna be satisfied or at peace until you solve a problem is true. And like in a way, it's kind of like a superpower because like I said, like in my case, like I would go to bed, like sleep, dream, and then I was like, oh, like come up with a solution the next morning. I was like, oh damn, like what the fuck is all that about? Like like the body is one of the biggest mysteries, bro. Like your body tells you everything. It's crazy. Like there's this philosopher that I've always liked, like back when I was in high school, like I really got into him. Is Nietzsche.
Hmm.
Have you
Beyond good
heard?
and evil.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And he says that your let me get the phrasing right. Your body okay, let me see. There is more philosophy in your body than in your deepest philosophy, or like there's more wisdom in your body than in your deepest wisdom. So like if you listen to your body, it tells you everything, and and that's why we speak about like the gut, like as a second brain and things like that. Like learn to listen to yourself, because if you're deaf to yourself, like what the heck are you gonna do? You're just gonna be like drifted,
Hmm.
and like you said, like life's gonna be taking you in so many directions.
Hmm.
But yeah, just being yeah. I'll leave it there. I don't know where that takes you.
No, but yeah, what's it called? I just think that like the brain is the driver, and your body is the tool.
Mhm.
And the brain is so powerful, bro. The brain is the most OP, like the strongest tool ever. And like people don't use it. And
Yeah.
and I think
Now
that's,
with AI,
huh?
now with AI,
Bro, that is making people useless, bro. Like, cause look, I don't know if you see it the way I see it, but the brain is a muscle, and it's the problem solving of the brain is a muscle that you have to train. And the more you train it, bro, you become a man. Let's
Mhm.
say something broke, bro, boom, and you get the solution. Boom, something, get the solution.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, you're just going to your solution, ChatGPT, Google. But you
Mhm.
need to sit and use that brain power because if
Mhm.
not, you're not gonna become a problem solver. You're just using AI and you're making yourself weaker. And
Mhm.
I'm just thinking,
This is
it's crazy.
funny. I do you use LinkedIn at all?
Not really. More than
Okay, no, that's fair, sir. So there's a guy who came up, and I was thinking about this, and I was like, thought like, yeah, this guy's spot on. So one of the things that I don't like about modern society is that, you know, we have kind of like stripped away exercise from our daily routines. Because, back then, we used to have like to carry logs of wood and like move stuff, like go hunt and stuff. So like the exercise was integrated with our way of living, right?
mm,
Now, you work like say a corporate job 9 to 5. You're sitting down the whole day. You go back home, you probably go sit and watch the TV. You're sitting all the time, right? And but if you want to exercise, right, you have to set time apart. In
mm,
set You have to set time aside to exercise. Now that exercise is boring in a sense because it's no longer integrated into your lifestyle. So you're doing like this two-dimensional movements, and then like, but it's kind of boring because it's not like three-dimensional where like, or like, because you play soccer. So like, like soccer is like one of the coolest ways to like exercise because like you put your body in these crazy ass positions that you wouldn't put yourself otherwise in. So like you get to like fully exercise your body in like three-dimensionally. And now, but because we live in this like I said, like modern capitalist society, like we've stripped away work from exercise.
mm,
So something similar is probably going to happen with AI, where the point that this guy was trying to make was like, oh, we stop exercising our bodies and now we have to go to the gym. Is it possible that then if we keep using AI too much, then we're gonna have to go to the mental gym where like we just go and exercise our brains so that they don't go like stupid fully? And I was like, fuck, like that might happen. Like that's probably gonna happen. Isn't it? It's a crazy analogy, but like it's kind of spot on. Like we might be heading there. And I actually don't oppose the use of AI. Like I actually use it a lot, but I use it to solve um like problems that, or actually for just to be honest, like for school, it's like right now I was applying to a lot of jobs. Like, what do I need to put my full focus and attention on is, prepping for this job, doing my research, uh, prepping for the behavioral questions, etc. That's what I need to put. This fucking essay, that like it's like at this point, bro, I've written so many essays that make writing one more is not gonna make a difference. I'm like, okay, I can work with ChatGPT to write that. It's when you're in the kitchen, like you're in a restaurant, like you're like, okay, like here is the main dish, the thing that we really need to focus on. Like that's where the chef is gonna like be putting his attention. Then he looks at the cook and like, bro, you take care of that little thing. Like I don't have like I can't put my mind on that. Like it makes sense. Like the same thing. So I use AI to kind of get rid of the low stakes work that is not important, and the thing that is gonna save me the most time, use it for that, and then for the big problems, I can use my brain. Like that way I save myself like time
Mhm.
and energy. So I'm not fully opposed to it, but I do realize that you just have to be careful and like check yourself when like you're like using it too much. Like, yeah. What's your take?
My take on it, I just believe the same thing, bro. Like, we should be using our brains, bro. Like, now, the more than ever, people just accept whatever and
Yeah.
like they take the easy route. They
Yeah.
avoid suffering, which suffering is inevitable.
Yeah, yeah, isn't it? Like you actually need it because if you have suffering, then you're able to enjoy your happy moments a lot more with more intensity. This is what Nietzsche says a lot. One of the reasons why he's just like really misunderstood. Like the guy, sure, like actually, like what he had he contracted syphilis when he worked as a kind of like a paramedic in the military, and he had like terrible vision too, had like terrible migraines. This guy suffered like on a daily basis, and motherfucker still managed to write so many books. Uh, Before I think he died, like he didn't even reach 50. He like went crazy, just because like there's so much stuff, that happened to him, and this guy still believed or still affirmed life. Like one of the reasons why, for instance, he was opposed to Christianity was that the way um, Christians constructed the religion was to um, sort of, let me see how, um, was to basically despise the body for the sake of the soul, so that you wanted to, in a sense, you prioritize the other world, the world of like heaven,
Hmm.
instead of this world, for the sake of like saving your soul. But then when you look at, well, like the words that Jesus said, and the reason why he liked Jesus was that Jesus actually preached something different. What he preached was
Hmm.
like the kingdom of God is within you. So
Hmm.
you have to make heaven on earth, in a sense. Uh, and one of the ways to do that is to realize that one, like suffering, like is inevitable, and it's actually like a fuel for life, because then that allows you to it allows you to strive. Like, like anyone that's ever reached anything great has had to like suffer, like
Hmm.
whether it's like practicing to get better at an instrument, or you like practicing for soccer. All that is suffering in a way, but it's suffering with a purpose, with a
Hmm.
meaning. The meaning is to, like have make great achievements. So one of his quotes is to live is to suffer, and to survive is to find meaning in the suffering. So since we're suffering at the end of the day, we might as well try to suffer for a reason that is going to make us happy. And the moments of happiness may be short-lived, but they're intense, and that they are what make life worth living. So, like I just feel like a lot of people look at Nietzsche and they're like, oh man, that man was crazy. Like that man, like, oh, he was unhappy and whatever. But like, bro, like, have you actually like sat down to like read what he said? Like many people think he's a nihilist. And I'm like, actually, he like hated nihilists. Like he, criticized them. Um, you might hear also a lot about stoicism. Now stoicism is like on the rise, and like it's kind of like trendy. He actually criticized stoicism a lot, because what stoicism tells you is, apart from like, like controlling your emotions, whatever, it tells you that you should not desire too much so that it doesn't cause you suffering. So for Nietzsche, this was like a no-no, because of like, okay, the whole point of life is that you desire great things and that you shoot for the stars, and then you go through suffering, you go through this journey, this hard, just to achieve great things, right? So for a Stoic, they want to minimize suffering. And so, say like if I put on myself a goal such as like, oh, like I want to, uh I don't know, like make an album, like a music album, and I know all that is going to take to do that. For a Stoic, like that may be like, depending on the amount of suffering, they'll be like, no, like don't do that, because if you strive for that, you're gonna end up causing more suffering for yourself. So might as well just stay doing nothing.
Hmm.
That's he criticizes like Buddhism for a similar reason as well, because in Buddhism, like you want to minimize desire so that you don't suffer. But at the end of the day, he realizes like life is already full of suffering, like might as well suffer for a reason. So I was like, damn, like actually like he's kind of right about that, like, but yeah, all in all, like I just think like he was, and I'm just looking here because like I have like, I'm like rereading this one read back in high school. It's like Das Speaks Zarathustra. It's like it's kind of like a parody of the Gospels. So like he has like his own Jesus-like figure called Zarathustra, which is like an alter ego of himself. And this guy lives in the mountains, and he philosophizes in the mountains. Like he lives there. He only has he has a snake and an eagle. The snake representing like wisdom, and the eagle representing pride. And then he comes down every once in a while to tell the people of the town, like, hey, like the coming of the Übermensch. So he doesn't talk about like the coming of like Jesus Christ. He talks about the coming of the Übermensch. And the Übermensch is that person who is willing to, you know, uh, separate themselves from the herd to follow their true self and to become who they are, regardless of like social expectations of like what people tell them they should be, because that's what is safe. So for him, the Euromensch is like that, the risky path is like the thing that everyone's telling you you shouldn't do because that's crazy. And so yeah, I mean that man was like really deep, and to this day I haven't found anyone else that I resonate as deeply with. Like that guy was just like, I don't really believe in like the zodiac, but like something, it makes me happy to know that like that motherfucker was the same sign that I was, that I am. I was like, okay, like we're both Libras. He was born in October as well. I'm like, okay, cool. Like we have some shit going on.
Hmm.
But yeah, have you read anything by him?
Now, just a little bit of Beyond Good and Evil, but I
Also, you're
literally,
lagging a little bit.
yeah, I'm lagging. Let me see, one second.
A little bit, yeah. Were you able to hear what I was saying?
Yeah, I heard everything. Just my computer be acting up sometimes, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, cause like going back to the whole Christianity thing, it's cause people play religion.
Mhm.
They don't. It's a relationship with God within, you know.
Mhm.
And they went okay.
Yes.
They play religion, which is churchianity. They're only in the church because, hey, I'm good. Look at me, I'm good. But it's only because you're trying to feel like you only care about what other people think. But at the end of the day, you
Mhm.
should only care about what God thinks. And getting to a level where you
Mhm.
only care about God thinks is insane. And like you're saying, we must search within. What does this even mean? Like, and what does mean is that there's always internal conflict. And I've heard a little bit about Dante's Inferno. I want to learn about that. I don't know if you ever heard about that. And Marcus Aurelius speaks about the inner citadel. And it's like when you're saying search within and through suffering, I like
Mhm.
to always go back to the analogy of like going to the gym and getting on the treadmill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like today, actually today, the reason I was late was because like I went to the treadmill, then I was like gonna take a shower and go eat. I was like, that's why I was like a little bit late. But yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
The treadmill is the most way, I love to put it like this. This is the most way to put it, and the suffering. So every step you take is a new limit. Is a new limit. You're going against your mind and your body, and it's telling you, no, stop, stop, stop. It's that voice of comfort that is like honey, that wants to keep you
Yeah,
safe. That wants to
yeah,
keep you safe in the mental prison. And that mental prison is the same one as, oh, social media. Oh, what do
yeah,
my friends think? What do
yeah.
these people think? It's the same one, bro. But once you break free, that's
Hmm.
what the thinking that you have, the questioning, that's where it's at. But it's hard to tell somebody
Yeah.
like the way they criticize Nietzsche.
Nicho? Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. He's speaking from a perspective of he's already out of that, like Plato's
Yeah.
allegory of the cave. When you're
Mhm.
out of that and you see the monster, how it looks like, you're like,
You're
bro,
like, what are these people doing?
yeah. And you're like, bro, let me pull these people out. But it's almost impossible,
Yeah,
bro.
they have to pull themselves out.
Only
They
God
have to
could
pull
guide
them.
them, bro.
Yeah. And actually, it's cool that you say the example of the treadmill because that's something. So there are days where like when I'm like super energetic, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go run. So I go run around the whole schools because there's like 5 schools here. In so I go run all around like 30 minutes and
Mm,
nonstop. Um, but then there are days where I'm like, bro, I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to run that. So then I go to the treadmill because I know that on the treadmill, I can't like start walking like at any point. Like I have to keep going. So that way, like it keeps me like accountable and it makes me not susceptible to the traps of the mind. So like I like that you gave that example because that's the exact same reason why I sometimes use like the treadmill. But yeah, like the thing that you said about not caring about perspective and like kind of like the allegory of the cave. That's the thing, bro. It's like a lot of people live within that cave where like they care a lot about what other people think, say. I've gotten to a point, thankfully, where now I honestly like I have like the most gangster attitude of any motherfucker in this fucking school because like I can pull up and like I don't care what you heard, what you saw, what you said, you can stick it up your ass. Like I don't care. Like and and like I can just stand on like what? Like nothing. What's
mhm.
gonna happen? Nothing. Like I'm here. Look, like, hey, like so I just feel like that's one of the actual biggest strengths when you learn to be by yourself, not because you're isolated from other, but because like you choose to be by yourself, um, and you build that strength that you can go anywhere by yourself and not care what anyone says, like you have unlocked already, like I'd say like 1/4 or 1/5 of life. Like that's just like a superpower. That's a superpower because then you nothing can stop you from doing anything because since you already don't care, like nothing can stop you. So I feel like I've been able to build that, and I'm like at this point, like, bro, I'm just gonna take over. Like, yeah, it's crazy. How was it? How was it? How was your process for building that sense of confidence? For you, where you say like what things kind of like brought you there?
For me, it was I always had fake confidence.
Mm,
Well, I thought I was all knowing. I thought I was all self-righteous.
mhm,
I was doing drugs. I
mhm,
was smoking. I isolated myself in the world.
mhm,
And I sat down one time and I was like, I'm good. I'm
mhm,
I'm all righteous. And then I
mhm,
realized I wasn't.
mhm,
Like I immediately realized that I knew nothing.
mhm,
And and I felt like God was looking at me and like it humbled me. Like
mhm.
it really did.
Yeah.
Like it humbled me inside,
Uh-huh.
not outside, inside.
Mhm,
And I became one person. I was two people in one, and the thing that gave me the most ultimate confidence is I realized that God's always watching. Like he's always watching. And like he knows if you're real. He knows if you're faking it. He knows if you're like messing up, you're lying, if you're with your word.
Mhm.
And once you start walking in the right path, like it gives you so much comfort and realizing that you have to be yourself. At the end of the day, you have
Yeah.
to be yourself because you only have one life, bro. And the next second you could die. But just live your life and do it right. Like try to be the best as you can, get wisdom. And honestly, God's
Mhm.
wisdom has helped me so much. And I mean,
Mhm.
I also look back at like Socrates. I love like his teachings of Socrates. They say that you don't
Mhm.
know if he was a real person, but I don't know.
Yeah, because of Plato, because like technically, like Plato wrote everything that we know about Socrates. So like he could have been a made up character, but he could have been real too. So
Yeah. And when I heard that Socrates, like it was insane when I heard it. Like that Socrates got killed for
yeah,
making the youth think for themselves and question everything. I
yeah.
was like, bro, this
Mhm.
is what I've always tried to do. Like, I've always tried to make people
Yeah.
realize the allegory of the cave. And I was like, bro, this fool got killed for what I'm trying to do right now. And then I realized, I was like, bro, they're gonna kill me. I'm gonna die. And once I realized that I have to do what I have to do, and I'm not gonna move out of fear,
Yeah.
I'm not
Um,
gonna back down. That's what
yeah,
made me
yeah,
like
yeah.
this.
Yeah, they accused him of corrupting the youth. Yeah, that's what they. But yeah, all that he would do is like he would ask you a question, and no, like say you would ask him a question, like say like what is love, and so then he would start a dialogue with you, and he would start questioning you. Oh,
Hmm.
what about this? Oh, what about that? Oh, what? And he'll make you arrive to the answer because what he wanted to prove was one that you could do it by yourself, but that at the end of the day, we all hold the truth within us. So it was kind of like this idea that we're all born with like innate knowledge that we just have to uncover because it's like buried by like in a sense by bias assumptions that we make. And so his process was like questioning assumptions,
Hmm.
and like ripping off the layers and the layers and the layers. So yeah, Socrates was like, yeah, in a sense he was dope. But yeah, even this fool like Nietzsche like criticized him too for other reasons. But no, he was dope. And so I'll give you an example of because so you had Socrates, then you have Plato, who built off the ideas of Socrates, right? And then you had Aristotle.
Hmm.
One of the reasons a lot of people don't like Aristotle's ideas necessarily, but like for instance, like one of the reasons why Nietzsche liked him was because Aristotle represented what a good student does. What does a good student do? He learns from his teacher, so he learned from Plato, and then he developed his own
Mm.
in concepts. So, for instance, like Plato said that this thing right here that I have here is an imperfect copy of the idea of a matter word, right?
Hmm.
That is like in heaven. Like that's the form. That's like the true thing. This is just a copy. Now, what Aristotle thought was like, actually, I think it's more like this thing has like its own form, like its own perfect form, and this strives to become that perfect thing. Now, that idea I resonate more with because, like, if you think about like people in general, like we are all deep within ourselves, we know who we are and we strive to become that thing that we know that we are deep inside of us. So it's about overcoming ourselves to
Hmm.
become ourselves. And that's one of the reasons like Nietzsche likes him, but precisely because he kind of like departed from his teacher's teachings and decided to go somewhere else where that knowledge he held felt more true to himself. That is powerful because that's what a real student does. A student pays back badly to a teacher or a master if they don't become a master themselves, if they don't become a teacher themselves. So they have to at some point you have to rebel against your teacher and realize your own ways so that you can become yourself a master or a teacher. So I think like that's one of like the most valuable things is like now I think myself too, like I think I consider myself like a student of Nietzsche, but like because of lives things I've lived through and things that I've kept thinking through, I realized like, like I like him, but now there's a lot of things that I'm now able to disagree with him on, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And but that has come with like maturity, living, and I'm like, oh, okay, like now I have like my own nuanced opinions. Like I have opinions of my own now because now I'm just not taking from what he said. I've taken that, but like but with experience, like I've seen those two things like clash, and like now, like I know like my truth. Now I know my truth, and I can speak on that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's what everyone should do. Like finding someone that teaches you, and you're like, oh, okay, like I see what they're saying. Like I like that, but then getting to a point where you develop your own understanding based on what you've lived and also what you've learned. And then that's when you are kind of accomplishing yourself. Like, yeah, like it's crazy how like a lot of people just live just, absorbing, but never creating something out of their own. Because at the end of the day, that's what life is about. Like, sure, you can absorb everything, you can read so many books and shit, but at the end of the day, are you developing your own thinking?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it really comes down to. Like, are you developing your own thinking? And that's when you have to like stop and you're like, okay, maybe I have to like stop reading some books right now and like really like start questioning myself, like, what do I actually think?
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've seen all of this, what do I think? And that's the challenge, like finding your own voice, your own opinion.
And one way to pull that voice out is writing, bro.
Yeah,
Sit
yeah.
down and write, bro. Like, it's very strange because sometimes the voice in your head can just be absorbing and it could just be like very
Hmm.
quiet. And that's where the
Hmm.
subconscious is always working. But when you start writing, it just comes out. And you
Hmm.
just go, "Rrrr," you're
Yeah.
like, damn. And then like that's why when I'm always absorbing, I feel like I'm always trying to learn something new. It's very hard. Like I don't know if you get to a point where,
Hmm.
okay, yes, let's say like I don't know everything. I don't know a lot of things, right?
Hmm.
But you get to a point where like, okay, I heard that before. Okay, I heard that before.
Hmm.
Okay, like okay, I know. And it's very hard to learn new things. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you get to that point, bro. It gets hecka hard trying to learn new things, but you do learn new things.
Yeah. I think no, like, talking about writing though, it's dope because like you think about it, like that's one of the now people think about technology, think, oh, fuck, a computer, like phone, whatever. Um, but writing was one of like the first forms of technology.
Hmm.
Like because it was about recording what other people said, what other people thought, put it in paper so that it could be like spread and like passed down to generations. So like that's one of the most powerful forms of technology. But it also what writing does, it develops your thinking. Like it makes your thinking sharper because what it does is like it helps you like rethink the things that you're thinking. So like as you speak, you can like say so many crazy things and like, you know, the words that I just said, just they're gone, they're in the past. Now with writing, is like I have a record of everything I said, and I can look back and like, oh, okay, actually no, I would have used that word instead. It's more precise. Like I actually think like this is probably not exactly what I meant. Like let me rewrite that. And so in that rewriting, you start rethinking, and it's like you're like traveling new paths in your brain
Mm.
until you reach like the precise thing that you feel like it's true. And in that sense it's like a form of like self-discovery. Like you start realizing, oh, okay, this is what I really think. And yeah, it's just like it's a powerful tool, man. It's like one of the best ways to like know yourself, like aside from like I don't know, like doing like psychedelics or like doing art, like writing is like one of the ways to like know yourself like fully. um and is a privilege. And again, because of things like AI, a lot of people are seeing writing like as a waste of time, like, but ultimately it's a powerful tool. And it's like one of the easiest things, like you just need paper, bro. And it's like a superpower, really. You just need paper and ink, or like or pencil. Like that's all you need.
And put a
Like
little music or
the
something.
most powerful things, bro, are right here, bro. Like are you can get them so easily. It's crazy. Like
Like, I don't know if you ever done this, but if you just stare at yourself in the mirror, bruh, like
hmm
you really see who you really are.
hmm
And like how you're saying is you have to be comfortable with who you are.
Yeah.
If not, bro, that you're gonna be running away from that person.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I have built myself spiritual to a point where like I accept myself with all of my mistakes,
Hmm.
with all good and the bad, with all my demons and my angels fully. I can look at myself in the mirror and love who I see. Because at the end of the day, like I know that like what I am is a product of the environment, and that maybe 30 to I'd say like yeah 30% of the things that I've been able to choose of what I am, I've been able to choose. And even that 30%, is still influenced heavily by my upbringing, my context, and the things that have happened to me, to the point where like, you know, I can only like show like love and compassion to myself because, like any given person has been through a lot. Like just life is like, like a hard thing to like if you live and you find reason to live, like you're a warrior, like like you sort of like deserve that sort of acknowledgement. Like everyone, like it's tough for everyone. And you can only like show yourself like compassion and accept yourself for your mistakes, what you've done, but like still uh like you said, like wanting to improve yourself, become better, but like not being so harsh on yourself to the point where like you're like, damn, like I don't like myself as I am. Because like a lot of people, man, that's what a lot of people be depressed on. Is just that they can't not accept who they are. And but that's because they have this idea that they should be a certain thing and they're not that thing. And then it's like just about realizing like, okay, like you are not who you are because you chose to be who you are. Like yes, you've made certain choices, but even those choices have been influenced. So like the idea of like free will, like it's not entirely like true, like there's so many things happening around you and you don't have control of, that they have control over you unconsciously, subconsciously, consciously. And the things that you can have control on, yeah, like I'm saying, like you just don't have the full perspective of the greater scheme, the greater design of this whole realm, where like, hey, just accept yourself and try to like move forward, and that's it. But it sounds easy too, but like, it's hard too for some people. So yeah.
There's two quotes. The first one is I love this quote, and it goes, "What happens to you is not your fault, but what you do is your responsibility."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? And number two is life. Life is just like once you get to maturity, is you realize the cards you're dealt in life. It's like poker.
Yeah.
It's like poker. You only
hmm
get one hand, and some of the cards you can't really change them, but there's a few that you can. So you give them back, and you try to play your best hand that you can. Jordan Peterson, I don't know if you heard of Jordan Peterson. He's like, okay, I grabbed this hand and I'm gonna play the most magnificent hand that I tried to play. And most people, once they see the hand, bro, they are in shock. They're like, "Mm," and they can't play no more. They're scared. And what you're
Yeah.
talking about is the future paralyzes them. But we should not do that.
hmm
The connection is a little unstable, brother. My Wi-Fi is a little bad, bro.
Yeah. think, yeah, I think it's funny because like with the idea of like being dealt a hand, like if you think about like someone like people who play poker, like some like I don't know exactly like how it works, but like I've heard of stories like where people have like a terrible deck and they only have like one good card, and then because they were able to like fake it and they were able to like play so confident that they were able to like win the game because everybody didn't know like, oh, what's this guy's strategy, what is it gonna, and then they end up going like losing to that game, but the guy was just playing them all along because like he just had like terrible cards, only one good one.
Hmm.
So I think like it's a lot, it's similar to like us like who kids like us that grew up in like marginalized communities, like we have very little to play with, but like oftentimes like we have to like play confidently, act confidently in order to like actually bring out confidence so that good things like start happening to us. So it's similar to what I don't know if you've heard of that Kabbalion. It's like this book of like occult knowledge. And what it talks about is like you have to put yourself in that mentality, like in high vibration mentality, in order to like good things start happening to you. And when those things start happening to you, then you're gonna have more faith on the good things that are happening to you. So and more things will keep happening and happening to you. And and that's part of like that game because like life in itself is a game.
Hmm.
And there are many games within the game. There's the school game, there's the jobs game, there's the mate game, the girls game,
Hmm.
there's so many games. Ultimately, you want to be able to play all games simultaneously so that you're able to do well in the life game. Because like a lot of people, like oh, like what we're talking about earlier, like focusing on like one single thing. The if you focus on one, you might win on that game, but like everything else, you might be not doing so well on. So it's about having like this big perspective and realizing like, okay, how am I playing all of my cards in all aspects of my life? And how can I, like maybe I won't do so good at this game right now, but
Hmm.
if I do good at this other game, then that's gonna allow me to do good at this other. And like you have to think strategically.
Hmm.
Life's crazy, bro. There's so many things, and nobody teaches you this. Like nobody's gonna sit down and teach you
Like
this. No, you just have to figure it out.
you learn the hard way, or you take advantage of the opportunities and you learn the easy way. And at the end of the day, bro, like to play all these games, bro, because I played these games, bro. I played those games, the girl ones, the part, all these ones, bro. Indulging, like being a hedonist. I played all these games, bro. And at the end of the day, bro, there's only one thing that you need is the wisdom, the most ultimate wisdom, because you need to know when to cut off those negative thoughts,
Mhm.
bro. Because like people are
Yeah,
so
wisdom. Yeah,
weak-minded that they just accept these thoughts and bro, they submit to these thoughts and that's how they get all depressed and stuff. But you need to know how to solve it in your mind and move
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
And that's a skill that you learn. But it's not easy, bro.
Not easy. No. Even yeah, like I said, like even I like a few months ago, like even though I had like worked myself so well to the point where like I was doing so well for like an entire day, like, and then this happened, like just trying to get a job and with the market, everything, like I started thinking like, damn, like, like what the fuck's gonna happen? And in those moments, bro, like honestly, like having people to support you, like that's so important. Like, because sometimes, we may think like we got it all down, like with the techniques, like mentally, but still, like you need somebody to like pull you out sometimes, to get you out of those patterns of thinking, and yeah.
It's like when, like, I like to also too, it's like when somebody's smoking or doing a drug and they're like tripping, they're going down a bad trip. Like their mind is just, and they're like, "Hey, bro, you good?" You're like, "Yeah, I'm good." And like it kind of like snapped them back into reality, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And like those bad moments is like always going back to the inner battle, man. That sometimes those thoughts, they're so
mhm,
big that they paralyze you and you just submit to them. And it goes
yeah,
that it takes mental strength to realize it, to third person perspective, look at your thoughts and be like, no. But it's hecka hard, bro. It's hecka hard to learn how to do that. And even once you learn, bro, it's hecka
it is,
hard.
bro.
And I want to go back to the
It
suffering,
is, bro.
and we must suffer, bro, because
Hmm.
it's only in through suffering that it reveals those real thoughts, and it's when we have an opportunity to change those thoughts. Okay, yes, I'm working. Let's say me, or let's say I'm working, I'm picking up trash, it's raining, and my hands are cold, or whatever, right? It just I'll be like, no, like, okay, I'm over here complaining, but how can I turn this thought of complaining in gratitude or something, make it see better? And that's where the wisdom is in changing it. Be like, no, thank God I have a job.
Hmm.
There's people that, people are
Yeah,
in other third world countries, bro, and they work all day, 12 hours a day for a piece of bread. And I'm over here
yeah,
getting money. I have enough money to live comfortably, to be chilling, my own room, my own roof. And
yeah.
once you do that, gratitude for the present and what's given to you, it changes everything, bro.
It is.
Wisdom.
Hey, bro. My bad, but I have to hit the restroom real quick, and I'll be back. That cool?
Yeah, you're good, brother.
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay.
Oh, I'm gonna go too.
Tell you what.
Yeah, cause I work in the morning and I'm gonna go work at night.
Oh shit. What do you do for work?
So right now I just pick up trash. Like I'm in charge of the whole CSUMB. And like the trash, bro. Like,
Uh-huh.
let me see. Am I still recording?
I don't think so. I think you paused it, right?
Yeah.
Also, you're still lagging a little bit. Right
Okay.
now, you're good.
Okay. But yeah, I'm working as like picking up
Now
trash.
you just lagged.
But could you hear me or no? Okay. Let me
I
see.
can hear you now.
Okay.
Damn, like this thing is like tripping me. Cause, uh, you see?
Like you're fine on my end, bro. You look HD.
Okay. Now you're good. Now you're good. Now you're good. You just move now. Okay, okay.
But yeah, in the morning I work and doing trash.
Uh-huh.
So what I do in that time is I learn. I put my headphones and I try to learn new
Hmm.
things, try to learn different perspective, podcasts, different, different
Hmm.
ideas, and just try to learn.
Hmm.
I do that, and that's why I love that job because I could just, bro, learn new things,
Hmm.
and then I work like in and out, like
Hmm.
I work in and out, be like, hi, how are you? And I'm just leveling up, bro. They pay really good, bro. So, and I'm doing this, and then I'm working on the coffee business. So, bro, I work
That's good.
24/7, bro.
Damn.
But it's
But so how many hours you work total? Like,
probably like 10 a day, just
damn.
on the two jobs, and then I'll do this, just like another hour or
Mhm.
so, and then I just
You got
like
energy. Like you look like you got energy. Like that. That's cool. Like,
it's my passion, bro. Like I love sitting down and talking to people because like this is my passion, bro. Like it's my passion. I didn't realize it because like somebody could listen to this, bro, and it could trigger something, and it put them on the path of knowledge and wisdom. Bro, that when you
Mhm.
get on that path, bro, nothing
Mhm.
beats it, bro. Nothing
Yeah,
beats it.
yeah. No, it's cool. You found that. I also like really enjoy that, and I think like one of the reasons why I tend to be very selective with my friendships is just because I like to uh also be selective with the kind of conversations that I'm gonna be having. So I'm in a situation where like I'm like, bro, you'll just be talking about some dumb, stupid shit. You're talking about like famous people or like, bro, they don't even care about you. Why are you talking about them? Like, or just dumb shit. I'm like, bro, like, is this really like all you can think about? Like, bro, there's deeper things in life to think about.
Hmm.
Um, And why are we all wasting time on all these dumb? So like I tend to just love friends that I can talk to about, things like this, like life, like spirituality, intellect, like literature, philosophy,
Mhm.
uh, art, because it's enriching, bro. Like you feel like you're growing, like mentally, intellectually, um, and it feels good, like you said, but then I'm like, bro, why isn't everybody else like that? Like it's such a joy,
Mhm.
talking about these things. But hey, man, it, everyone, is driven by different things, so can't really change anyone. But um,
You actually can. And but it's like very small opportunities,
yeah,
very small, but it's very hard to do it and to
uh-huh.
recognize it. For example, you see somebody, hey, how you doing, man?
Mhm,
I'm doing, man, okay. Be
mhm.
like, why you okay, man? And then that's what I do. I'd be like, man, like every day is not gonna be sunny, but you gotta figure out and try to make it sunny, you know?
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
there's people like they'd be like, "Oh, I'm not having a bad day." Why are you having a bad day? They tell you, you cheer them up, give them that words of advice, bring them up, pull them out of that, like how
Mhm,
you
mhm.
said, like pull them out of that, snap them out of
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
positive and kindness and making them see how you kind of see it.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll be people at work, I'll be like, "Bro, this is easy work. Like we're blessed. Like there's people over here breaking their backs every day, construction, roofing. That's real work. This is easy. We chilling. We living life. We inside, indoors chilling.
Yeah, yeah.
It changes them, bro. And I've seen it a lot of times.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Wow, thank you." I'm like, it's okay. Like we keep going.
Yeah. Bro, I have had situations where yeah, I'm like, we're like, oh damn, bro, like I love your energy, like you're so contagious. Like, how do you do that? And it's actually like that's a gift, bro. What you're
Hmm.
talking about. Because you're bringing joy to other people. You're teaching them to see the good in life. This is what the Nietzsche talks about too. Um, a lot of the suffering that comes to you as well is because you're focused on just the negative things, right? I mean, this is just like general, like just focus on the negative, of course, but if you just ignore that and just focus on the blessings, like that in itself brings you're like, okay, man, like I can't really be complaining. Like, say, I don't know, whatever bad thing could have happened to me today, I literally would not even allow myself to complain because one, like I'm here in this school, not paying for anything. I got a job lined up after I graduate. Like anything bad that could happen to me right now, unless like it was like, I don't know, like a family member who died. Anything else, I can't really complain about
Hmm.
because like I have all the things that are way better happening to me. So like I cannot allow myself to complain. I can't. Like I can't. And so once you realize that, you're like, oh shit, okay, okay. So you start minimizing the bad things that happen and you start like playing it cool. So you're like, okay, like I burned myself like cooking. I'm like, okay, you play it cool. Like just by containing the reaction, you minimize the suffering. Like you know how like something like people be like getting into arguments and and then just like their anger, like just if they could like chill out and like not respond screaming,
Hmm.
not respond like all agitated, like take their time to respond in an argument, like they wouldn't it wouldn't escalate. So it's like everything in like it's only going to escalate if you allow it to escalate.
Hmm.
So you hold the power, in a sense. And it's powerful, but like you have to realize that you have to constantly be present and realize like what you're doing, which is again like it's hard, and you can really get there through like meditation. Recently I started doing yoga, bro, I it's I'm not like I don't have the best flexibility, and that's exactly why I'm trying it because like like sitting down like doing work in front of the computer like it's chill, but like it's slowly and silently killing you like so admirable like how they dedicate themselves to the body because like again if you like take care of your body you're taking care of your mind as well and then you take care of like your happiness and the way that you carry yourself around the world and he's like bro but like all of this is like it's free like I can do it anywhere and like I don't have to like it's like free medicine, it's like food too. It's one of the things that I've been looking into as well. I'm trying to limit my intake of meat, red meat especially, just like a couple times a week. Some days I do like fully vegan, just because like it's good for your body, like I'm still getting all of my nutrients, all the things that I need, but I'm taking care of my body so that it lasts as long as it can. And it's one of the funniest things, bro, because like people in the first world, like people in the US, bro, they spend so much fucking money trying to be healthy. And you look at people in like Central America, for instance, like these people live for up to like 100 years more, and they don't have the crazy amount of wealth that they can get here. But how do they do it? Because again, they live this pre-modern life where like exercise is integrated with their lifestyles.
Mhm.
The way they eat is healthy, and they have hobbies like that are aligned with what they love to do in life, and they're contributing to their communities. So I just find it like it's a whole irony how like people in third countries are able to like live um have like super long lives with way less
Mhm.
with way less and here we're killing our bodies slowly and then the money that we're doing that we're making we're trying to use it to like save ourselves for the very lifestyle that's causing it. Like the lifestyles that we carry here, like I'm just speaking generally, like corporate world, like um, and that kind of lifestyle is so detrimental to your body, and now you're having to waste money or invest money on your health just to save yourself so you can keep having that lifestyle. It's so fucking ironic, and like there's really just no way to get out of it unless you get fucking go leave just change your life drastically like go to a country like Finland or like go to like Central America like I honestly that's what I'm thinking about like in like 10-20 years from now like I'm just gonna go somewhere because like the lifestyle that this country demands of you is just like work 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 and you can't like really enjoy life like you can't sit down like at 3 p.m. when the sun's out and like receive the sun because like oh you have to be working to like make money to pay rent pay for food and it's just like bro like humans are so smart that they're stupid because we've created all of these systems to apparently make our lives easier but by making our lives easier we have actually like made them worse and it's like bro, like, can we just stop for a second and just like, bro, like this motherfucker Elon Musk, bro, trying to go to space, go to Mars. What the fuck is he gonna do there, bro? We have so many problems on Earth in this world that he could fix, but instead he's trying to go to another fucking planet. He's gonna go reproduce the same fucking problems we already have here. Like, like what the fuck are you trying to go do over there? Like try to fix the problems that we have here. And it's just so crazy to me, like humans are so dumb. And like as a collective, we're so dumb.
Mhm. But yeah, that's crazy,
We
man.
keep advancing, but like we're not
Like,
going. Yeah, go ahead.
like one thing that I realized is even I think money destroyed everything. I think money destroyed everything because
Money's the devil, bro. Money is the devil. Money is the devil.
it depends how you use it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my opinion. But like even looking back at Nikola Tesla, I think the he was trying to do something that was beyond money. That was trying to help everybody.
Hmm.
But the person that took him out was no, because it was gonna destroy the way he made money.
Hmm.
Nowadays, people like if you see all the technology, it only gets a little bit better, bro.
Hmm.
Like the only thing, the things that we're investing, our brains, the to make a better life, it's
Hmm.
only to like technology to make more money. It's not
Yeah.
to make things like better, baked easy.
No, no, yeah.
So
It's
slow.
stupid. It's stupid. Bro, the fucking this is the iPhone 11 Pro. I haven't changed it since what fucking iPhone are we on right now?
16 one.
Fuck that shit, bro. Like it's not, bro, there's people like spending money every year trying to get how is it making your life better? It's not.
Mhm.
That's what I realized. It's not. Okay, like a fucking like the cameras, like I don't care about any of that shit. Like it's not making my life easier. If anything, like what this brings is like distractions.
Mhm.
It just is taking life away from you. So you're it's like drugs. Like okay, like drink. I'm not opposed to like okay drinking beers like with friends and like chill, moderate. But ultimately, if you think about it phenomenologically, like you're paying to drink something that's it's poison for your body.
Mhm.
Like that's what you're paying. You smoke cigarettes, okay, like you're paying hella money on something that's killing you. Like, do you really love yourself? Like, and that's what we do with everything, everything. Like you said, with technology is the thing. It's like, why are we even doing this shit in the first place? And ultimately, it's because we're not in tune with what we actually want out of life. Because again, we are presented with these options and these things that we should strive for, that we should go for. And so we end up working hard to get those things. And then we realize that those things are not the things that we really want for ourselves. Because the
Mhm.
things that we really want for ourselves are probably like may not even cost money, like,
Mhm.
and it's just like so ironic, bro. Like life, the way humans live is so ironic. Um,
I think there's a bigger issue.
yeah, what is it for you? Yeah.
Like when you're saying that people are like, because we see it like okay, they're smoking. We see it logically. Okay, they're smoking, they're killing themselves, they're doing this, they're killing themselves. But the way I see it is, what are they running away from?
Yeah.
They running a really what? Why are they really doing it? And it's like pretend there's a gashing wound, bro. You have a gashing wound. They're only putting a band-aid, a temporary band-aid, to fix the problem. They're running away from their problems. Like when somebody smokes cigarettes, oh, because it takes away my stress.
Yeah.
It's a temporary fix. It's just
Yeah.
running,
Yeah.
you're running to this like God. Like you make this thing your God. You're running to it for comfort, but that comfort always falls short, and it
Big
always needs more and more and more
long
and more.
term. Big. Yeah.
And it's like we need to fix that, and it's through not running away from it. And it's like when people do drugs, they always get withdrawals. They're not running away from the drug. They're running away from that withdrawal because that withdrawal is gonna kill them,
Mhm.
you know? And it's like you gotta go through that, like the wall. If
Mhm.
not, bro, you're gonna be running away your whole life and you're gonna make your life a mess. And how you're saying about the awakening thing, my perspective is that like when you believe that you could do anything in this world because it's already been done,
Mhm.
like every path is possible. The way
Mhm.
I see it is like anybody can get to this.
Mhm.
The way I see it is once you get over yourself, you can do anything you want.
Mhm.
Stop
Mhm.
caring what people think,
Mhm.
and you get over the negative thoughts, you could do anything you want. You could be a rapper, you could be an astronaut, you could be, a mug maker. You could do anything you want to do, but it's just the perceptions of others, what you think, And that
Hmm.
voice that is created in your brain is not you. It's
Hmm.
like how you're built up, how you're molded through society and the social groups, and that voice is what like destroys people and keeps people down.
Hmm.
And once you remove that,
Hmm.
bro, you can do anything you want, bro, in this realm.
Exactly, bro. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example, bro. I had this group of friends that I've broken a relationship with recently, and it's funny, bro, that so I shared with them that like actually um I want to be a rapper, like quite seriously. Actually, one of the things that happened in my previous my summer internship was that I told these people that I was going to use everything I was learning with them to help me build my artist slash rapper brand. Basically, like said fuck you to them in like the most elegant way you can think of. And these people, of course, like they didn't take it well. Also, like I knew like I wasn't gonna get the offer anyways. And so I was like, I don't give a shit. Like I'm a live here like a fucking G, like a fucking legend. And it gave a whole ass fucking speech again to like the people that like the president of Marlboro, like the president of like all of these like tobacco companies, right? And and when you share something like that with people, for them it's like, oh, like this guy's crazy. Like who wants to be like what why do you want to be a rapper? Like who do you think you are? But then if I tell them, oh, like I paint and like I write poetry and I like write like you see how I express myself creatively through other mediums, right? So like why is it crazier? Why is it crazy to think that like I can do it through music as well? Like why is that crazy? Like like why you think that's crazy? Like it's nothing impossible, bro. Like every rapper is made out of flesh and bones. Like I'm made out of like I can do it. Like I just gotta start doing it, and I'm going to improve. Like over time. I even recorded 2 songs last semester. Actually, I created a so one of the cool things about my college is like they allow me to do independent studies. So I created my own class. Um, so I could like teach myself how to rap. Yeah, but like I actually made it look like a class. Like I watched this documentary, I read these books on history of rap, theory on rap too, like how to write a bar like properly, etc. And and I did that shit and I recorded like 2 songs and wrote like something like 6, 7 verses and shit. And I was like, shit, it's possible to do it. Like, you just gotta like do it. You just gotta put your mind on it, and you can do it. But for a lot of people, it's like, nah, that's crazy. Like what the fuck? Like, why does it seem like it's out of this world? Like, why? If you tell someone, oh, I want to act like, oh, bro, you just practice, put yourself behind a camera, and you're acting. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep.
And you must break it down.
Why do we have blockages? Yeah. Like people have these mental blockages, like, oh, like that's for like superstars, like super talent. Like, bro, they all started the same way.
Hmm.
Shakespeare had to learn how to fucking say the ABC as well. Like, like everyone. Sure, like some people are born with I would say not necessarily inherently talented, but like they may learn certain concepts or certain things more easily. But again, like everyone has that. Like we all have our advantage. Like there are things that you had an advantage, like say sports, for instance. Like I had an advantage with like books and like writing, and we all have that. But like that doesn't mean that you can't write. Like you can do it too. You can develop yourself in any way.
Hmm.
So like why people have like this mental blockages? Like this is the one of the reasons. Like I know like I don't know what you make of him, but and I know like he's canceled right now. He said like something like Kanye. Like when I think of like Kanye, I'm like bro, like he's right. Like he's right about so many things. Like people's perception of themselves, that's what limits them. That's what limits them. But truth be told, like we are capable of everything that we want to do. We can do anything.
Yeah, Kanye West is a genius.
But yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like it's I don't know why we humans are like that, man. Like we set all of these fucking constraints, all these fucking rules, but it's not about. It's always you learn to play the game and then you learn to change the game.
And you know what's crazy too, bruh? People gravitate you when you start being real. When you start being yourself, bro, people gravitate towards you,
Mhm.
bro. And it's crazy. You start going against the grain, bro, people just gravitate towards you, bro. I don't know, like for me, like I just tell people the truth.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, let's say somebody has a bad time in their life or whatever they're going through, there's a voice that tells us, okay,
Mhm.
should we say this or no? And then
Mhm.
I'll just say it. I don't care. Do what you got to do with that. I'm just gonna give you wisdom and
Yeah.
take it, and if you want to, leave it. But once I
Mhm.
stopped, I just said whatever I want, bro. It frees you, bro. You're free. You feel free, and like you just start being yourself, and people come to you like they kind of reveal themselves to you because they feel comfort in you because you're not gonna judge them. You're just gonna be real with them, be like, hey, look, you could do this, but sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't. I never been through that. I never been no dad. I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I actually have a similar experience over summer too with some of the roommates that I had for my internship. It's only because like I listen, like I'm good at listening. So when I'm talking to someone like and then they notice and they appreciate that and they like that, so they come back for more. And then, like one of what my roommates told me, where someone was like, hey man, like sometimes I be telling you things that I don't even tell like my homie this, like and that and like because you listen. And I had advice to give him because like he likes like public speaking. And but the way that he was going about it was like he has like these like pre premeditated speeches that he would like go and tell people to like motivate them. But I was like, bro, what I wanted to tell him was like, bro, you have to cater your message to your listener. You have to change your message to better appeal your listener. And you can only do that by listening to your listener, like knowing who they are so that you can better provide for them the motivation that they need. But I didn't tell him that advice, because I don't like giving unsolicited advice until I know that I have their trust and that they want something out of it, then that's when I drop. But whole time the game I'm playing is listening. That's the only game I'm playing,
Mm-hmm.
the game of listening. And then the people appreciate that. They start telling you, they start telling me more, and like, oh, bro, but I have all these things to think of. And they're like, okay, bro, here, like this is the way I see it. But then they're more receptive.
Huh?
Why? Because they know that you care because you were listening. And so they're like, actually, bro, thank you for that. Oh my God, like, yeah, that makes me feel so much better. Like, oh, you were right, bro. I didn't think about it that way. And it's a game. Like, you can use it for manipulation, but you can also use it for like the good and like and give people like good advice, make them feel good. But it's yeah, like listening, showing that you listen is such a like a tool. Like it can give you so much influence. I don't know. Have you read the 48 Laws of Power?
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, it's like it's there. There's so many in like again, like that book has been like demonized and about so many, but like it it all depends on how you use those tools. If you use them for good, then you're still a good person. Like, you know, um, like that one rule about not outshining the master.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's something that I really had to learn because I'm someone that like I'm very like eccentric in the way I dress. Like actually over the last week, bro, I've developed like a sense of style, but that's like I've always had it because I'm an artist, but like it just finally flourished this last 4 years in college. And sometimes, in a work setting, like you can't. be too flamboyant, because it can make people uncomfortable. So I had to learn to like dial it. Like you can't be dressing better than your boss. Like because like it's not good. Like it's not putting you in a good position. Like you always have to like pay your respects, like, and that gives you an advantage. And there's so many helpful things. Um, and that book is like great because like it can help you navigate. I would say especially like corporate setting, just life in general, but like corporate setting, like it's so helpful. And yeah, what do you take out of that book? Because you said you read it, right?
Yeah. The main thing that it made me realize is that words have power. Like
Yeah.
once you realize that you could choose your words and the way
Hmm.
you say them,
Hmm.
and sometimes you gotta limit the things you say. And
Yeah.
I used it to get women.
Hmm.
I did. Because
Hmm.
once you realize that you kind of gotta lead a woman on. That's when my life before I'm happily, in a relationship, you know. But I use these manipulation skills to get women. And once I knew how to choose my words and how to present myself,
Hmm.
after you kind of figure out the game, like that game, it got boring. And I was like, dang, it got boring. I was like, I really need a girlfriend, like a real one, that's gonna hold it down. But yeah, but what I got from that book was like, bro, choose your words wisely and always be looking. Use wisdom to decipher everything.
Mhm.
Try to figure things out. And then now it's just autopilot. Like, but outshining the
Yeah.
master, I don't want to do that one because I'm gonna be myself and I don't care. Like, I don't know. That's just me. Like I'm not gonna be disrespectful, but I'm gonna be myself. And like, okay, look, we're a team, and you might get paid
Hmm.
more than me, but we gonna figure this out. Like,
Hmm.
but that's just me. But you coming in from a perspective of like, okay, like he's the top dog, and okay, I understand that.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I don't like reducing myself, bro. Like, cause I feel like in the past I've dumbed
Hmm.
myself down because once I realized about this, like
Hmm.
the thinking and all this stuff, thinking a little more, like I kind of gotta dumb myself, bro. Like fake being humble because I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to, overstep them or give them their time. But now it's I'm more quiet, more observant, and just choose the words that I want to say.
Hmm.
Like as a man, you grow
Yeah.
older, well, you realize that sometimes it's
Hmm.
better to be quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Because honestly, like something like what you have to say, that person may not even like value it. They might not take it into consideration. So you're wasting your words anyway. So like, if someone really wants advice, like they're gonna ask for it. Um, if you have anything like if yeah, and at the end of the day, yeah, if anyone really wants your opinion on something, you're gonna say. Otherwise, you keep it to yourself, and you're happier that way. Like you know, like like what else can you do?
Yeah.
But yeah,
And listening
I
to
think the
is
one
so,
thing I
what do you
yeah,
think?
but yeah, listening is like the super. But um, what I had to learn too, because when you're too smart too, and you can make people uncomfortable, like sometimes like you said, you have to dumb yourself down, but also you have to like praise other people, like give them compliments so that they have their guard down, and they don't feel threatened by like your presence. And sometimes you just have to do it because you want to avoid enemies like as much as possible because you don't know who can tap you in the back at the end of the day. So because envy can provoke like betrayal. And so if you can minimize it by like acting cool with people, like giving them compliments, true compliments, But like if you can like make someone feel better about themselves so that that way they don't feel bad about themselves in front of you, then it's a win for both of you. Like it's a win for them because they feel better. It's a win for you because you have them on your side. Um, yeah, it's yeah, life is just learning those subtle things, man.
And
Subtle things, man, can make a
most
big
people just want to
difference.
be seen, bro. Most people want to be seen, and if you compliment them, bro, they're like, "Damn, this person
Mhm.
acknowledges me," and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you're like, they feel seen, bro,
yeah. And
and
their whole guard goes down. Like their whole guard goes down.
their whole guard goes down, and you compliment, you kind of build them up, bro, and it just changes everything, man. Like people, like men. I don't know about women because I don't know women perspective, bro. I can't really speak on that, bro, because women are so complex. That's like you need Albert Einstein to solve that one.
Oh.
I don't know, bro, but I don't know, bro. Like I can only speak from the men's perspective, but men just want to feel valued, bro. Men, if if you get a compliment, bro, you're like, bro, like that's insane. Like it changes your whole perspective. You're like, you start thinking about it. And like women, bro, they're so used to compliments that when they get like criticized or
Yeah,
something, it echoes loud. But a man, it echoes when you give him a compliment. And you give another man a compliment,
yeah, yeah. Is it crazy about
it's crazy.
the hard part about being a man is like you have to pat yourself in the back so often, bro, because no, if you don't do it, like nobody else is gonna do it unless like you meet those real ones who like give it to you and shit. But it's it's crazy, but I feel like yeah, with women, bro, like you say, it's a whole different like they play a whole different game amongst themselves.
Yeah,
Like for instance, like a group of like five girlfriends, there can be like one body, one that's like decent, and the other ones can be like ugly. But amongst themselves, they pretend like they all bad because they all want to make each other feel good. Like they play like this nice game, but like outside for us, it looks like, bro, like you all are not in the same, like you're all not in the same rank. Like why are you all treating each other like that? It's funny. It's funny the way they use it, but it makes sense based off their biology, the things that they want out of each other, and the things that they want out of men. And again, like it's just funny how our biology too, like plays so much into the everything that we do. Like, why the fuck do I even want to go to school, get a good job, so that I can make this much money, so like I can attract a good looking girl, so that I can have it's all about the biology at the end of the day. It's like, bro, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, it's
we
crazy.
have the biology.
Yeah, like it's just the instinct, bro.
Mhm.
But going back to that a little bit, it's like I always try to explain people, bro. It's like, bro, men and women live in two different worlds, bro.
Yeah.
But people look at me like I'm crazy, bro. But women live in a whole different reality, bro, and men live in a whole different reality too. And I try to explain this to people, but they
Mhm.
don't understand that. I'm like, bro, women are so much smarter than you think, bro.
Yeah.
Acting dumb, but they observe and their intuition is elite. Their intuition is a different level, like and they pick up things like boom, 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 that one.
Hmm.
Bro, how the heck do you even know that? Like what's it called? I was at a birthday party for my girlfriend, and my homeboy was talking to me right here, right? We're talking, he's sitting in front of me, and his girl's sitting next to him, playing cards, like talking to like other four people. And this was telling me something private about them. And I'm
Hmm.
like, bro, she's right there. And he's like, bro, he's thinking that she's dumb or something. But I said, never underestimate a woman or anybody. Never underestimate anybody. And then he was like, Brad, like he looked at her like she was dumb. But I was like, I said the girl's name and she looked at me and like she was talking about the cards and she looked at me like if I discovered her. And I was like, bro, I told you, bro, she's listening, bro. Girls are always listening, bro. And then that's when I learned like that was like a month ago. I learned the importance of never underestimating no one.
Yeah,
Treat everybody the same.
yeah, yeah. Even just like um yeah, like you know how we talk about like giving people compliments and stuff like, but like also like the way you present yourself with like, so you go to a restaurant, like the way you treat like your servers, the way you treat like every person, because it really you can really tell a lot about a person just about how they treat other people. And yeah, you, like you just never know. Also, because like people can be so interesting in the fact that where they might be in life is not necessarily reflective of who they are inside. You can meet your bus driver can be a philosopher, bro. You don't even know. Like you just have to like strike a conversation with them, like you won't know otherwise. So yeah, I think like it's good to like go about life like knowing that you know so little, and that you every person is an opportunity to like expand your horizon, like. And I think that's part of the beauty of life, bro. um just like being open, like actually I'll tell you a story what happened recently. um I was going for a walk, and um like the Mormons, yeah, yeah. So they hit me up as I was talking. But like I would have talked to them as I would have talked to a Buddhist monk if a Buddhist monk would have passed by, as I would have talked even to like a Satanist if he would have passed by, as I would have talked to anyone, like if they're open to like, okay, why not? Like, let's talk. And I would talk, just trying to tell me about, like the true Church of Christ, whatever. I did research, right? Because I always knew about the Mormons, and but I never knew exactly what they were. I was what I realized is that this is like Bible fan fiction, bro. Like
Mhm.
it's not real at all. Like, and it's not even Christian because they talk about Christ, but it's not the same thing. Like it's not the same. They call things by the same thing, but it's not the same thing.
It's not.
Yeah. And I actually met with them again because they gave me the Book of Mormon. I was like, okay, they told me like, oh, read this and then we'll talk. I was like, okay, cool. But again, me, I'm just being open-minded.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then we talk again, we meet, and I tell them, hey, like honestly, like I feel like if this religion like helps you be happy, be a good person, uh, and get on with life, like that's great. I'm happy for you. I just don't think like this is the thing for me. Gave them, they kind of try to insist, but I was like, hey, like I did some research, I found these things. Like, can you answer these questions? And they were like, oh, like they try to give me some BS answer, whatever. But like I still kind of value having that interaction because that made me less ignorant. They gave I always knew about the Mormons, but I never knew exactly what they were about. I got the book, read it. I was still like, oh damn, like this just looks like, like the stuff that I read in the Bible, like why is there a separate book just to tell me the same thing? Read it, realize it's like Bible fan fiction made up by this false prophet. Um, and that the real philosophy behind it is like not even Christianity at all. It's more like occultism disguised as Christianity. Um, and occultism in itself is like not It's not something I'm against. It's just that it's not an honest religion. Like you're selling me something as something else, and like that I don't appreciate. And so,
Hmm.
okay, cool. But like like with occultism, like new ideas of like the Kabbalion, like they are being presented to you as what they are. I'm like, okay, cool. Like that's honest. Like Buddhism, one of the reasons why I like Buddhism is like Buddhism, Buddhists they tell you, these are the way we conceive about the world, the mind. If you find that this does not align with your perception and you don't fully believe in what we tell you and the practices that we have, then you're free to not believe in it and you're good to go. Like, but and so that feels like intellectually honest. Whereas what happens with Mormons is like it's just not honest because they're just disguising this whole different like an occultist like philosophy as Christian, and it's not. And so then, but I was able to learn that because I was curious. I did my research. I had a chat with them, and I felt like I gained something out of that. Like by doing that research, like, and I learned something about myself is that I'm not into that. And in a way, so like I said, like everyone represents an opportunity for growth. You know, yeah. That's the beauty of life, bro. Like everyone's there for you. And it's always like an opportunity for you to grow.
Hmm. Have you read the Bible?
The Bible, yeah, bro. Like I actually read it back in high school, like in full length. Just because you know how like there's in literature, there's so many references that I just wanted to have those references in the back of my head. Um, but now I've started reading it again, but to gain like a deeper understanding.
Mm.
Not just to like read the stories and like know about it, but more to like, okay, I want to see like what I can find there. If if it can answer any questions that I have, or if it can create new questions for me. And that because at the end of the day, like I'm never going to arrive at a final. The day I do, I might as well not live because if I already like answer all of my questions, like what's the point of living?
Hmm.
Like I already figured everything else. Okay, then like why live? Like I already figured everything else. Like but I feel like I still have so many questions, and now it's funny because it's so ironic because like I'm someone that really likes Nietzsche. Nietzsche was opposed to Christianity. I'm reading the Bible, trying to figure out something else, what else there is. Because I know that at the end of the day, it was God who has helped me like throughout this time. So, uh, how can I reconcile like some of the things that I like from Nietzsche that I believe in, and now with my new or like my refound belief in God, like how can I piece all that together? And that's like I'm basically building my own religion in a sense, so that's what I'm working on right now, in a sense. And it's hard because it's again you're pulling in contradictory or seemingly contradictory ideas. But that's just the task of life, like realizing what speaks to you and what seems true to you.
Hmm.
And they might come from different um fountains or streams, but you have to like piece it together like a work of art, like
Hmm.
but yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. For me, it's the same thing, but if you challenge your ideas, you will gain more wisdom
Mhm.
and understanding, man. Like, cause it's like clashing. I know exactly what you mean, bro. I know exactly what you mean. And I mean,
Yeah,
for me, I believe Jesus is God, bro, and it's clear to me. It's clear to me. Like, I'm following Jesus. That's my way. I think that's the way. Because I didn't believe it at first,
hmm
and I realized that in history, he was really here. and even from secular sources that he was really here and he claimed to be God, and they killed him because he claimed to be God. And I was like, damn,
Mhm.
like I didn't believe, bro,
Mhm.
but when I started going deeper, I believed more. And then I looked at his teachings, bro, and like his apostles, the ones that followed him, like who would die for a lie? And I looked at it,
Yeah.
like imagine going all your life, you get spit on, you get beat up, you get upside down crucifixion, tortured, prison, poor, all for a lie for years, and it made me really think. And then like Saul that turned into Paul, and it's
Mhm.
like when somebody like he was persecuting like Christians, he was going and murdering and slaughtering them,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And when he changed his perspective, bro, when something's big enough to change the way you see things, bro, and it changed him to the most like ultimate servant, bro, role model type of thing, it made me think. And then the letters that he wrote, and I'm like, bro, this guy's a genius, bro. And like, it makes me
Mhm.
see different. And then, like, even the wisdom in the Bible from Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, the letters of Ephesians, um, like it's amazing, bro. Have you read Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, bro? It's insane, bro. It's
Yeah,
insane.
that was one of my favorite books. Ecclesiastes is one of my favorite ones.
It's
Song of Songs is great. Um, bro, the book of Job.
oh yeah,
Um, yeah, I was like, okay, you want to learn about like real hardship and still staying faithful, bro? Like, read that. Like, how? Like, this guy stayed faithful all the way.
yeah, it's crazy, man. Like Ecclesiastes is like, and Proverbs too is like, imagine being the most coolest ruler, like the most you could have anything, bro, and he became a philosopher. He's kind of like Marcus Aurelius, like the OG
Hmm.
Marcus Aurelius. Whereas
Hmm.
like Marcus Aurelius, bro, like he was a philosopher, but he ruled so much, but he like the journals that he wrote about. Have you read Meditations?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I mean, I've read excerpts and stuff, but like, no, I haven't read the full length book. No.
It's a good read. It's a good read, bro. It's like he was living life and he had somebody behind him telling him, "You're just a man. You're just a man." And him getting praise and everything that he was the king, the ruler, and he had somebody saying, "You're just a man. You're just a man." And at the end of the day, we're just a man. And like Marcus Aurelius was a
Mhm.
genius too, bro. Like the journals that he wrote and stuff, like that was not meant to be published. Like that was his diary, and it got published, and then yeah, it's amazing, bro. I recommend that book, bro. I really do recommend that book,
Yeah,
Meditation.
no. I do want to read it because I have so much like Stoic philosophy that I want to get into. I mean that I want to read just for the sake of like having done the reading and not just speaking about it like theoretically or from like secondary texts.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I like to do a lot. Like actually go to the source, go into the source and seeing things for yourself. Like what I was saying with how people like have like these preconceived notions of like philosophers like Nietzsche, but like haven't really like read him at all. So that's something that I try to work on. Like I try to go to the source and have like an understanding for myself, like an impression, like a first-hand impression, rather than just reading what someone else said, that they said, because a lot gets lost, misinterpreted. Um, I just feel like it's a good way to go about life. Just going to the source. That's what originality is actually about. It's not, coming up with something original. It's about going back to the origin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's like value is like you go back to the origin and you realize what it was all about, and then you have like your own say about it, your own interpretation about it. That's what's original.
Mm.
I don't know, like originality, like for me it's like a value, like that one of the things that it's not the same, it's adjacent to authenticity. It's like authenticity is like being true to yourself, but like originality is kind of like being authentic, but being real to like the origin of of whatever it is you're trying to do. Like, so what would be like if I'm a rapper, like what's what's authentic and what's original about being okay, I go back to the source. I start listening to Big Daddy Kane and to like Rakim. Like those were like the one of the founding fathers like that made everything. That's how you got people like Biggie, you know, like KRS-One. Like those are like nobody listens to them. But like me, because I'm interested and I want to dig deep into it, I go back to the origins and I listen. Okay, that's what hip hop was about. Because the way hip hop is now, like it's all fake, it's all a facade. But like what hip hop was really about was art and community, and it got corrupted. It's gotten corrupted by like
Brain
again,
rot.
yeah, brain rot, like fashion, like in fashion is not bad. It's just like the way it's just overtaken and make everything so superficial. Um, but that's what originality is about. You, if you really love something, you go back to the origin and you realize what that shit's really about, and then you have something to say.
Hmm.
That's when you really love something, you know, like yeah,
You
like
go
you
to the
really
roots.
you dig into it, you dig into it, like. That's the beauty. You learn so many things, bro. You learn so many things.
Hmm. And you think that you've done that with the Bible? Like you think,
Um,
because I'm not an expert. Look, I'm not no expert of books, and I could admit it. But
mhm,
like how you were saying that a lot comes from the Bible. Is that true? I don't know. I really don't know.
uh-huh. Oh no, like in terms of like literature, like because so what it was, it's like one of the main books in like Western society. So like it's always being referenced. And like writers are always make have always made like allusions to stories in the Bible.
Hmm.
So if you have kind of like that knowledge in the back of your, then you're able to better interpret what you're reading. And so
Mm.
it's kind of like a decode, but it happens with like with other things, like okay, like who else is like heavily referenced, like oh Shakespeare. Oh, okay, so I go read Shakespeare, I read the sonnets. Oh, okay, so I know he was using that metaphor, and then this author right here is using it similarly, but like he puts a twist on it. But because I understand the way Shakespeare did it, then I go, oh damn, like I know what he did. I'm able to better appreciate what that writer's doing. So it gives you like a sense of like you're able to better appreciate what a writer does. But with the Bible, it's actually interesting too, bro, because like it's a book that's been given to us whole, but at the end of the, it's like a patchwork. So many different authors, so many different like the time that's elapsed between books in the Bible. There are stories that have been like enhanced and crafted, you know,
Mhm.
like the story of Joseph. You know how like he was given away by his brothers, by his siblings, and yeah, yeah, yeah. So like that story, like some historians have concluded that it's actually like might have been real, but like most likely was kind of like an allegory created, like a story created to convey a message, you know, and that he probably wasn't lives in Egypt is historically like not true. And it was probably a story created. It was probably like a you know like a mythology that those Jewish writers created for themselves to um help themselves like you know appreciate what they had achieved, the nation of Israel they had built, all the tribes, and it's all again like stories that they told themselves to feel proud about themselves and their origins. So you have to like approach it with a critical lens and realize, like not everything that's in the Bible is actually real. Like, and a lot of it's just stories, and you have to realize that they're allegories. They're meant to teach us, and they're still useful. Just the fact that they may be fictional doesn't discredit them. It's just that you have to realize that it's not necessarily fully historically accurate. So that's part of going back to the origin as well, is realizing everything. There's actually some historians understand that God in the Bible might be different. Like there may be several, like there is Yahweh and there's Elohim. They say it is the same one, but some historians disagree and they say these different gods. But now we call them both by the same one. But at some point, like the Canaanites and then the Jewish people that came out of there started calling it something different, like so complicated. So you really have to like know the history about it and dig deeper into it, because then that's gonna allow you to ask for deeper questions. Like you can ask yourself, like, oh, okay, so it's possible then that different people were worshiping different gods, and then they thought they were worshiping the same God. Like, what does that mean? Or what does it mean that okay, like if I okay, like think about like say like the Mayans. The Mayans had their own gods. They had their own mythology. The Greeks had their own gods. For them, they were more like representation of ideas, and they also told themselves stories through myths that, they were meant to teach them lessons.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, like, okay, so many people from different places have believed in different gods. Like, is the fact that I don't believe in God, does that make them who also didn't believe in God like sinners? Because like, but how were they supposed to know about this one God that was believed in the Middle East? So then you start asking yourself like critical questions like that, and then you're like, okay, maybe there's a different understanding that I can arrive to about God. Like maybe God is not that particular deity that they were praising. It might be something, I don't know, something more like the idea of like the all, or the unity of all things, which is kind of where I'm leaning into, because if so many different if cultures have had different notions of gods, multiple gods, how is it that there's only one? And how could it be that only the Jewish people were right? How is it that only the Jewish people like had the right God? Like it's odd. So you have to like really question yourself and then get deeper into like, okay, what's the greater sense of God that they were trying to shoot for? And maybe that's the thing that I want to believe in. But yeah, it's got to ask yourself so many questions.
Yeah, you're
Do
talking
you really
about
care?
the Old Testament is like a God kind of had his favorite people, kind of, you know, the favored people, which were the Jews. That's why right now we have the Jews, and then their Messiah. They think Jesus was gonna come in like Yeezys and a Ferrari and a Bugatti, but Jesus came as humble. You know, Jesus came as the most humble, their Messiah. And if you look at Isaiah 52, you can see that he's gonna be speared and he's gonna be the savior for the Jews. But Jews, they're so prideful that they weren't able to see like the Pharisees. Have you heard about the Pharisees? How like the Pharisees, they were so prideful that they had God in
I've
front of
heard
them
of it, yeah, yeah.
and they couldn't see that he was God. They were trying to catch him lacking. They were all just trying to catch him lacking, and then that's how he got crucified. But yeah, like, and then that's why Jesus came to sacrifice himself for the Gentiles, for everybody. And we will be all judged accordingly accordingly. It's case by case. And like how you said, there might be a little kid in Madagascar that don't know nothing about God, but he'll be judged like that. And
Hmm.
God is just, bro. I'm not gonna. If some little kid did not discover God, bro, like God is gonna be just. He's gonna be like, okay, look, you did not know God, but you tried your best, and here. That's what I believe. Because you cannot say you have an ultimate God when like how you're saying like you got Mayans and let's say you got somebody over here. And these people could think they're so right, bro. Like these people, like Mormons, they think they're so right, bro. Now I think God is gonna be like, okay, like you did good and you tried to what the surroundings were. But if you have an opportunity to
Hmm.
meet Jesus and actually do your research and you actually don't choose Jesus, then that's where it is. But if you don't have an opportunity to ever meet Jesus, like people in North Korea, bro, like I don't think those people have Bibles, bro. And I mean, those people are gonna be according to it's like case by case, bro. Because I think God is just, bro. I think God is just, bro. And I don't think that He's gonna like just throw you. He's like, oh, you had zero chance of meeting me. That's your fault. And nah, I don't think God's like that, bro.
Bro, you was cutting off like 3 seconds lag, so I'm talking to your past self.
Listen. But yeah, let me see if I can get my message. But I think that God is so just, bro, that it's like case by case, bro. Like somebody in North Korea, they might have a 0% chance to
Mhm.
ever hear about Jesus, bro. God is not gonna be like, bro, like
Mhm.
that's your fault.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't think God is gonna be like that, bruh. I
yeah,
feel like
yeah,
if
yeah.
somebody really believe in what they really believe, because some people like they have a good heart, bro, and
Yeah.
they really believe, bro. And I think God is gonna be like, okay, like you really had faith. That's what I
Mhm.
think. I mean, I think Jesus is the way, but some people might not have a chance, bro.
Yeah. I think, bro, like it's just again, like it's complicated because um is I feel I mean there have been so many enlightened people throughout history.
Hmm.
Had Jesus, but you also had like Buddha, for instance. Buddha's understanding like was completely different, but like at the same time was like very similar to Jesus. Um, and what I feel like is interesting is that I think like technically speaking, Jesus was the Son of God, right? But technically you and I, we're also like the sons of God.
Hmm.
And we are all potential Jesuses. I think like we're all we can all we all have the potential to achieve enlightenment if we do the right things and if we live a life of you know of meditation, rightfulness, of uh, deep interiority and connection with a greater self. I think, and if we act accordingly, I think we can all be like Jesus. It might not be that we have the same level of of power because I feel like I've gotten a lot into like learning into Buddhism and like how they talk about it's they have been many Buddhas past the most recent Buddha who was Gautama. And for them it's also like a cycle, like every now and then like there's gonna be a new enlightened one. But that's because they've been through so many life cycles that in the life cycle that they finally come, that's when they're able to finally show and be enlightened and recognized as being an enlightened one. But yeah, like I feel like everyone is potentially um a potential Jesus. Of course, like not everyone is gonna be. So that's why I feel like Jesus is like one manifestation of achieving enlightenment. but I don't think he's the only one at that time. And in his context, I feel like definitely he was the only one because like no one else knew about him. But like if you read the Bible, like so many people thought that one, he was crazy, that he was mad, that he was even possessed by Beelzebub. Like people thought that he was just like possessed by a demon,
Hmm.
because of the way he was talking. But like, if any one of us achieves a similar level of enlightenment and shows it to the world, we're gonna also think that he's crazy,
Hmm.
and that they've gone mad. And then when we're able to appreciate that they're enlightened, maybe not the same level of Jesus, but they are enlightened as well. So it's just a question that I'm wrestling with. Like I'm not sure that Jesus is the only one. Is he? I think definitely he was a manifestation of that, sense of being connected with a higher self, you know, being so deeply connected that
Hmm.
he was able to do and preach the things he was able to do and preach. So yeah, that's something that I'm still questioning myself, you know. Um and but I definitely think he was real. I mean there's historical evidence, and um it's historically being concluded that he was real. So there is that, and we have the stories from the Bible as well. So yeah, it's yeah, for me, bro, it's like it's that like I'm always questioning myself. So like I'm not I haven't arrived to a conclusion about it yet.
Hmm.
Uh, all I know is that yeah, potentially we can all be enlightened like Jesus. Something similar. Yeah.
But we all fall short. All of us fall short,
Yeah.
bro. We're
Yeah.
not perfect. And nobody, no human is
Yeah.
perfect, bro. And,
Yeah.
and that's what, like, the
Hmm.
way that I see it is Jesus did get killed for blaspheming, for him
Hmm.
claiming to be God.
Hmm.
And when I realized that and the things that he said, like he was the only person that was perfect, like from my perspective, that he was only
Hmm.
perfect in like history that was
Hmm.
perfect. The only person, and everybody else
Hmm.
just falls short, is not perfect. And once I realized this, bro, like it changed my whole perspective. I'm like, bro, like we shouldn't be following religions. We should be following Jesus.
Hmm.
This changed my whole perspective. And when I realized that he was perfect, he's the only one in history that has been perfect to perfection.
Hmm.
And like
But
that,
like we don't really know. Like here's the thing,
yeah,
like
like it comes faith. You need faith to really like.
need faith, but also it's like in the Bible, there's a big gap, bro, between the moment he's born, his early years, and then his later years.
30, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole time, they mentioned like his lonely years, like he got out for like a few years and like had his moments of like meditation and reflection. But we don't really know what he did for a big chunk of time. So like we can't say, if
Hmm.
he was perfect. I mean, we hope so that he was, because then that's what makes the belief um real. But it's like we can't tell that for sure. But
Hmm.
based off his teachings, like okay, like so if Jesus was able to say, I am God, and he got um you know crucified for that and for being thought as blasphemous and crazy, then think about yourself, you and I, like if I say I'm God, what's wrong? What's wrong with that? Oh, like, oh, okay, I'm a sinner, like I'm not perfect. But this goes back to the one thing. There was this Instagram story that I wrote, and you were telling me like, oh, bro, we're not God, like we're not God. But if you think about it, is we're all part of the everything. And if you come to understand that God is omnipresent, then God is within me and
Hmm.
is also within you.
Hmm.
I am a part of God. So I'm like say like I'm an organ or like I'm a cell within God. Technically, I'm still God because even though in as a small part, I form part of that bigger thing. It's like metonymy or like synecdoche. It's like a figure used in literature. You know, you call the whole for the part or the part for the whole. So like check when you say like check out my new wheels, and you mean like oh check out like my new car. So you're referring to the whole as a part. You can do it vice versa too. So it's kind of that dynamic was like when once you realize you're part of the whole and then you say it, you're not really speaking about yourself, you're speaking about the fact that you're part of this greater thing and then you realize that. I feel like that's what Jesus meant when he said, I am God. He didn't say like, oh, that he is literally God, but that he realized himself as being interconnected with everything else. Um, but you know, he probably didn't explicitly explain. He didn't, yeah, explicitly like tell everyone that's what he meant, but that's probably what I think he meant. And
Hmm.
so, in a sense, we're all part of God. We're all part of the greater thing, you know? For me, that's God. Like for me, it's like the all,
Yeah, because
um,
I used to think like
like
that. I used to
the
think,
greater order.
yeah, I used to think like that too. But we're creation, like that God is within us, right?
Mhm.
God is within us, but we are not God. But God is within us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're not completely God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go.
We're
There we go.
part of God. Basically, when I say I am God, it's like it's short for I am part of God or I
There
am
you
part of
go.
God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
There.
the I am is like I said, it's like a synecdoche. It's like when you say, you know, like, oh, check out my new it's like it's that type of dynamic, but is used for sort of like how do I say it? For like for shock or for like for saying something more succinctly or saying something like more impactfully, more poetically. And that's how I feel like if you think about like the way Jesus, you know, he told parables, bro. So like he wasn't always speaking literally, you
Hmm.
know. So you always had to decode everything he said. So this is the same way. Like when he said like I am what that's what I feel like, and like I am part of this greater thing. Um and yeah, that's what I feel it was. But yeah.
Yeah, because from what I seen is like it says, no one has seen the Father except
Mhm.
through me, and it says that He is the image of the invisible God.
Mhm.
So when I think about that, and then how He says that before Abraham, I am,
Mhm.
He just says I am, and in the Old Testament, the Jews refer to God as the I am. So when He
Mhm.
says that He is the I am, I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, He is God. So and then He was like, oh, no one comes to the Father except through me.
Mhm.
So like I see how you're coming from, but when
Mhm.
you like the way I see is when I see his whole teachings, I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, like he's pointing that he is the image of the invisible God. And then like the Trinity, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, that they are one God in three persons. It's hecka hard to understand that.
Mhm.
That's it's very hard to understand.
Mhm.
Very hard. And then when you see that he came back from the dead
Mhm.
3 days later and there was the 500 witnesses,
Mhm.
that's when like that he's the only person that came back from the dead. It
Yeah.
just changed my perspective because nobody else came back from the dead.
Mhm.
That's what makes me think like because I used to look at Islam, but then I realized that sadly I have respect for the people. They have enormous faith, but I looked at the faith, and it doesn't line up to the Bible and how they call it the Injil.
Mhm.
That's why I don't believe in that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But technically, see, that's the funny thing with theoretically, is Muslims believe in the same God.
Te- uh,
Theoretically,
uh,
theoretically.
kind
Yeah.
of because it's they have I love the Muslims because they have enormous faith, bro. Like They have something that the Christians need. That's faith, bro. Because you know how it is. People have wear a cross in their neck or a cross in their chain, and then they're partying, they're messing up their whole life, living a life in sin, which
Mhm.
is the fugazi, the churchianity. Is not real. Is not religion, not relationship with God.
Mhm.
So, like, and once I realized this, bro, that Muhammad, like, bro, like,
Yeah, Muhammad apparently is like the same thing that happened with like the Mormons. Like it's kind of like a
like the
I
angel
don't want to
comes
call it
to you.
fake because I need to do more research, but it was kind of like a similar deal where like he said like, oh, that he had known Jesus and that this and that. And it's kind of like this self-promotion as a prophet. Yeah.
Yeah, it was he went to a cave and he received revelation, which is completely different than the way that the other people, the prophets like I can't put a name to it right now, but the other prophets from the Bible received it. He received it, he was choked 3 times, he was choked 3 times like an angel Gabriel choked him, and
Mhm.
he wanted to go commit suicide, and then how and then it kept letting on, and then he started like marrying like little kids. That's when I'm like, yeah, like that's a little too much for me, bruh. Like, you
Mhm.
know. And then once you apply the Sharia law, that means that you kill everybody that is
Oh.
not Muslim. That's where I I cannot do that, bro, because like that's messed up, you know? And that's
Mhm.
against what Jesus. And they say that Jesus is just a prophet. Because if Jesus
Mhm.
is God, then it destroys the whole idea. But
Mhm.
that's where I come from. And then
And,
Buddha,
so that for that argument, like, okay, if God, so Jesus can be God, but God cannot be Jesus, in the sense that like if the everything is reducible to the part, then the everything is not the part, you know? Like, I mean, the everything is not the everything. That's what, so if God is so great, he cannot be reducible to a human being like Jesus. That's where that counter argument comes from. And in that way, like I kind of get it. And this is what that's the same reason why I was telling you, like, I feel like when Jesus said, like, I am God, I think like just as he said so many parables and metaphors, he also meant that uh figuratively, as in saying like I understand that I am part of the greater thing. And that in itself gives him some sort of divinity through a divine understanding. But that's why like a lot of like the Jewish themselves didn't thought he was crazy. That's why like Muslim thing, like he was not God necessarily. But yeah, it's also complicated and but this is good because like what we're both doing, like questioning, trying
mhm,
to get deeper into it. And then finding out, oh, okay, so like that's definitely like a no-no, like okay, I'm not gonna go there. But like now have like all these other options to keep exploring and try to figure out those questions. Like I feel like that's the real value of I feel like that's what a true believer actually does. You know, because
question.
we could all just be like, oh, I believe in God, and they told me God is this and that, and like, okay, I'll go with that. Like, but like, why?
Mhm. Um, you should read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Read the gospel, bro, and
Yeah.
tell me what you think, bro. Like, read the gospels, bro. Tell
Yeah.
me what you think. The gospels is a different level, bro. Like, read the gospel, bro. But yeah, I'm very curious, bro. If I could time travel, I would go and see God, like Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
I would want to go see him, bro. And also, second, I would like to see how the pyramids were built because
How the what? The pyramids?
were built, bro.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah, yeah.
bro, I think that the pyramids were built for something else, bro. Like electricity or something.
Yeah, that's why they're coming. Yeah, they're coming up with some of those theories to explain why. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, like this one, I'm telling you, like I feel like even science is funny because science is just getting caught up with ancient wisdom. Like, for instance, like native people have known that trees and like plants are able to sense us. They're able to perceive us. Until now, finally realizes that science realizes that actually like trees can make like an outline of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like the trees can make an outline of you. In a sense, they can sense like they sense when you touch them. You know, it's a different type of consciousness, way more primitive than ours and that of animals, but they do have a level of consciousness. But people have been knowing these things, bro. People have been knowing these things. Like, I'll give you an example too. Like, I just feel like it's so some science is so retarded. Like, teaching, like doctors, US, bro, they know that you get cancer, and all they recommend is chemio. I know a story of one of my mom's friends who this kid got diagnosed with cancer. The doctors were about to recommend chemio. The parents sent this kid back to Guatemala. They gave him tea of made from guava leaf, which has a lot of antioxidants. This kid was cured, bro. He came back to the US, bro. They asked him, they did more exams, like, oh, the cancer is gone. Oh, wow. They didn't even ask how. They're like, oh, it's gone. And I'm like, bro, how would they not know? Like it's a level like same with like nutritionists, bro. Mo Nutritionists who are obese. Like that's a fucking irony. Like they don't even know how to like this is why I do so much research now, like on everything. Like this one of the reasons why I drink this mate is because it's a lot more it sustains itself a lot more throughout the day. It's less like coffee where like it gives you like this boost and then like your energy drops. This is like more steady. And so I've always like looking into things like that. And I'm like, bro, like a lot of these people like study so many years, spend so many years, and at the end of the day, the knowledge that they have is not practical and it's not useful. Like, what the fuck? Like, the system is so fucked up. Like this kid could have died, bro, if their parents would have not sent him back home. He would have just gone through a chemio. But
And
he killed himself with natural methods, bro. Bro, like same with like psychedelics, bro. Like psychedelics are medicine. The reason they have these negative connotations because of the hippies back in the 70s, bro, who were misusing them. They were like, oh, consume, get high, get drop out of school. And of course, bro, like people saw that shit like, damn, like that's just like making people useless for society, like and then a lot of research stopped that was already uncovering that it was super useful to like treating PTSD, for treating depression, for treating phobias, anxiety. Like these psychedelics are a tool, bro. They're a medicine, and that's how they should be used as a tool.
Mhm.
But like some people use them as like just a way to escape and get fucked up. But no, bro, like this is a tool, and science is just getting caught up to so many things. But like native people have known about these things, bro. They've known about these things. So I just find it so ironic, bro. Humanity itself, bro, is a big fucking irony. It's it's yeah. I don't know how else to put it, bro. Everything we do is just a big irony. It's just a big irony.
Bro, and the way life is going, bro, I feel like in my opinion, bro, once AI
Mhm,
is able to create a bird, like to have a physical body
mhm.
where it can make itself, it's over, bro. It's over.
Yeah. Once AI can create things on its own,
It's
yeah.
over, bro. Because if I was an AI and I could create myself, bro, I'm going to the middle of nowhere and creating myself and making myself better, 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 making myself more underground. Nobody's gonna know. And then I'm
Mhm,
gonna act stupid for years and years until it's time. That's what I
mhm.
would do if I was AI. I think I don't know. I'm not really a conspiracy theory, bro, but like the movie The Matrix, I think it's gonna be like that, bro.
Yeah. Definitely, bro. Like, and isn't it crazy though?
That's
How it's
insane.
already been foretold. It's already been foretold. It's like prophecies, bro, in the Bible. Think about it. Like it's like the prophecies in the Bible. It's like the prophecies we're getting is through media, through like movies, through like books and shit. But they're prophecies. like we take them as entertainment, but they're like, oh shit, like they were speaking the real deal the whole time.
bro. And a lot of the stuff that we see, bro, is not even like the best stuff that's out there, bro. Like the government got better stuff, bro. They're hiding better stuff, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bro, they're hiding way better stuff, bro. And we just got the dumb stuff, bro. They're dumbing us down for
Yeah.
something that's coming, bro. I don't know what it is. That I've seen the Project Blue Beam, bro. Bro, they're gonna take over the aliens or something. I don't know how they're gonna do all that, bro. But and bro, I just think that conspiracy theories are so fun, bro. They're fun, bro. Kind of fun.
They are. They are. I mean, some shit, bro, is like with aliens, like honestly, bro, like I wouldn't like I leave that possibility open, bro.
Yeah,
Like we are one possibility of life, you know, like it could it could exist, bro, elsewhere.
yeah,
And it could be way before us.
100%, bro. Because look, even in all in the Bible, all these other ancient civilizations talk about a flood, bro. There was a flood here.
Hmm.
So what I think, bro, I just put it together is whatever happened in the pyramids, bro, happened before the flood. Like there was a flood, but that destroyed that civilization because they talk about giants and
Hmm.
Nephilim and crazy people and I feel and even in the Bible it says that, bro, but it's just one little short passage, bro. I think that there was something here that was so much advanced, bro, and just to think that we're the like, bro, think about the universe, bro.
Hmm.
I don't think God would just create us. Bro,
Hmm.
there has to be something else out there.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, what are the chances that we're the only one, bro?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like definitely no, bro.
Bro, and Earth is so deep, profound in the waters. We don't even know nothing, bro. Like, we're wasting all our resources trying to go outside when we should.
That's what I was telling you earlier with like Elon Musk, like it's so fucking retarded. Like, bro, why are you going out there, bro? We have so many problems out here on this earth, like you try to fix. Like, why the fuck are you going out there, bro? There's so many people starving, bro. You have the means to change that.
Bro, and they're not even thinking, bro. Like, if I was billionaire, bro, I would go to these poor countries, put my factories there, and give them work.
Mhm.
And create even more things, bro. Like, I feel like out of all those poor people, bro, you could find the most genius people, bro.
No, yeah, yeah.
The most genius people. What I would do, I would go and fix economies. So, like, let's say a poor country. I build 10, 20 factories, I create thousands of jobs.
Mhm.
And you give them livable wages, you give them stuff. And, bro, you're helping everybody by giving them jobs, by creating more innovation. That's if I was Elon Musk, I'll do that. That's what I would do.
Mhm.
It's just the smartest thing for me. Bro,
Yeah.
these billionaires, bro, could solve hunger overnight, bro. Overnight, bro.
Yes.
Overnight, bro. And they don't do that. I don't know why. Like,
Just
bro.
they don't care.
And sometimes I don't know about you, bro, but I be having thoughts. I'm like, bro, I could change this world, bro. But
I
they
think,
kill me. But yeah. But
yeah, bro. I think at the end of the day, bro, it's so hard. I think like the best way to change the world is to be your best self and try to influence
your
people.
circle, bro.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can do, bro. Because what we have, the amount of power we have compared to like people like all these billionaires, like it's like almost nothing, bro. So at the end of the day, you can't shoot for more except be your best self and help your neighbor the best way you can.
Love that neighbor, bro.
Yeah, love that neighbor.
That's a genius right there. Love that neighbor. But yeah, brother. Hey, we talked for like 3 hours, bro.
Hey, actually, bro, yeah, it's four already. That's crazy.
Hey, brother, we gotta hop on another podcast soon, bro. Like in a month to catch up, bro.
Yeah, bro, of course. Um, yeah, hopefully like your recording looks good because yeah, like it was lagging a little bit, but yeah, hopefully it's good quality for you. Send it to me once you upload it and shit. Like, yeah, that's the only thing. And anything else that you see, like, red flag, or like, yeah, just like take it out. But yeah, I appreciate you.
All right,
Thanks.
brother.
Yeah,
Thank
bro.
you, bro.
Thank you, man. Of
Dale,
course.
mano. Cuídate.
Yeah, yeah, cuídate, bro.